We produce a lot of electricity in winter. We charge customers more in winter for that, and we don't do a lot of maintenance. So the Eskom business is seasonal, and therefore you've seen the 12.8 billion profit. For the rest of the year, we will most probably end up breaking even. So we're going to work most probably twice as hard and end up making no further profit. So we'll break even for the rest of the year. So the results that you're seeing now most probably will be what you'll see reflected at year end.
For the period, a really muted electricity sales growth, 0.9% growth there, partly as a result of the muted economic growth picture that we have. GDP growth forecasts going forward have been downgraded by World Bank, by the SAR, by the Finance Minister, and many other analysts. Does this give Eskom a little bit of breathing space to really bring on extra electricity capacity going forward?
Yeah, you're correct. We get a good sense of what's happening in the South African economy by just looking at the electricity sales. The first quarter, we've seen 1.4% sales growth year on year, and now 0.9%. So, we've certainly seen a slowdown. And obviously, from our perspective, for the long term, it gives some perspective of the sales growth. And that means we can do a bit more maintenance. The system gives us a bit more time to commission our plants. So from that perspective, I guess it's maybe good for us, but not good for the economy, because we need to maintain the growth.
At the same time, we've got the delays at Medupi. Now it's being said that it's going to come online in 2013. Can you just give us an update on all the concerns and problems that you've had with contractors?
Yeah, these are big projects, and these are the largest construction projects within the Southern Hemisphere. We have announced earlier that we are having concern with the critical path of our project, which is our boiler. And we've now indicated that by 2013 that should be ready. That's in line actually with the long-term planning that was done. So really that is the case. And we're working very hard in doing both the detailed assessment of where our contracts are at on that project, as well as all the other projects.
To give us an update on Kusile.
At Kusile, last Saturday the first boiler construction has started. We said that Kusile's first unit should be towards the end of 2014, beginning of 2015. That is still the case.
Looking at the cost side of the business now, half of the 26% rise in primary energy cost was driven by higher coal costs. How do you intend to manage this price pressure on the coal front, given the fact that a rising demand is not expected to abate?
You're very right. I mean, what's happening in Japan, what's happening in Europe pushes up coal prices, including what's in South Africa. We have always predicted that coal prices over the long term will increase anything between 12 and 15%. We're seeing that. We've managed it quite well. We've managed it below our budget, and our budget is reflective of what we told the regulator 2 years ago would be our coal costs. And we're comfortable in terms as far as that is concerned. But it's reflective of the demand for coal. The mining conditions are quite tough. It needs more money, and that is an issue for us and for the country to deal with.
The supply agreement with BHP Billiton is also an area of contention. What is the issue around that?
No, I think you refer to the special pricing agreements. We have significantly reduced the volatility in our balance sheet. We have one customer and 2 agreements left to negotiate that, and we're busy talking to Billiton in that regard. We as Eskom will honour all the contracts that we have, and in this case we'll work with them to find a negotiated outcome.
A third of your rise in energy costs also reflective of the fact that you've brought IPPs on board. We're very close to government awarding the first renewable energy project tenders going forward. What impact are these going to have on your costs?
It will increase the costs. You've seen a third of the increases are due to that. We purchase electricity for every unit that we buy. We purchase it on average for about 77 cents. As we said, that we're selling electricity at 55 cents. So the ability that Eskom has to blend the more expensive prices with the lower prices. Going forward, you're right. I mean, the tender process requires a volume of over 3,000 megawatts of renewables that needs to be blended in with the 41,000 existing Eskom fleet. So certainly there would be an upward pressure on our primary energy costs from those purchases.
Have you got any forecasts in terms of what that upward pressure would be?
Yeah, obviously we will have to assess, firstly, the amount of energy that would be procured. As I said, it seems to be over to 3,700 megawatts. And then the pricing, and I think the companies has gone through a bidding process in that regard. Once that is clear and the timing is clear, we will have a better sense of what the increase would be.
At the same time, you also intend to have the system and market operator ring-fenced by the end of the year. Is that all in line with bringing on the renewable energy independent power producers and having that buying and producing capacity differentiated in Eskom?
Yeah, like I said, one of our strategic pillars that's core of our strategy over the next few years is to facilitate the introduction of IPPs. And key to that was the independent system market operator bill that was announced. And the first phase of that would be to ring-fence that as a division inside of Eskom. We've ring-fenced the buyer already, and we will create a fully fledged division that would then facilitate the purchases of the independent power.